Welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily on City TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. And as I mentioned earlier, yesterday during the mid-year budget review, the finance minister told us that the country is targeting creating 1 million jobs through, get this, supporting startups, new SMEs, and also helping stimulate innovation within the startup ecosystem. So the show today is really highlighting women who are already doing this in the space and what we can do as a nation to help them scale their ventures so that we can really get to creating that 1 million jobs that we need. So today, my personality is a technical consultant on soft tissue medical devices. She's going to tell us all about what that means. And the CEO of Iowa Aberfo. It's a company that creates private and white labels for those of you who are interested in the skincare and hair care industry. Her name is Dr. Nanayaa Bates. Throughout our conversation, we want to hear from you. So if you have any questions, please let us know with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. And the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. And me personally, I wish I knew someone like her when I was a kid. STEM would have definitely been attractive. So I'm glad she exists now. Good morning, Dr. Bates.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. What is a consultant for soft tissue medical devices? What does that mean?
Right. So in the body, you have soft and hard tissue. So you have soft tissues like your skin, your heart, ligaments, the kidneys, etc. And then the hard tissues, we're talking about cartilage, bones. So my training is actually regenerative medicine.
Okay.
So I work with implants for soft tissues. I specialize mainly in cardiovascular and skin. So cardiovascular implants like valves, conduits, vessels that need repairing. So we put these implants into the body to repair the tissue.
So walk us through an ideal patient who would need support for, I guess, hospitals to come get your help.
Okay, so in a hospital setting, if a child, for example, is born with a hole in their heart, the consultant that I do is with manufacturers of the devices that goes into the hole. So we do these things called occluders. So my job really is to make sure that the implants going into the child's heart has the right composition, is safe, it's been tested, it's gone through the regulatory, and it can't be implanted. So my space, if you must say, of regulatory expertise is Europe and US.
How did you end up in this very technical, specialized space?
So I started off as pre-med in America. And I realized very quickly that I'm a bit squeamish with blood. So, and also delivering bad news is not something I'm very good at. So I decided to go into the engineering. So I decided to do the engineering aspect of medicine. Then I went on to do a PhD in cardiovascular regeneration. So I've been doing that for 10 years now.
What was the transition from medicine to engineering like for you?
It was actually wasn't so bad. It's probably something I should have done from the beginning. It was very much, you still learn about medical stuff, so anatomy, physiology, but what's included in that is how to make things with things that we have, put it into the body to help the body heal itself.
Wow. So I mentioned earlier that I wish I knew women like you. It sounds like a very male-dominated space, a lot of non-black people. How is that space like? And is there enough room for young black girls to really see that I can actually take up this role?
There definitely is. I think it is male-dominated. It's so I've worked all over the world. I mean, mainly in Europe. So I've worked in Netherlands, Germany, France, and the United Kingdom, and it's very much, So not a
you
lot
stand out,
like
you diversify the
So, but it's very interesting because people really accept you and they're ready to listen to you when you start talking. And if you have that knowledge, they are always in awe of you. And I think that there's space for people to join this industry because it's very exciting. I mean, there's medicine, and a lot of people are like me who think they can't They can't do it, it's just a lot of blood and telling people. I mean, sometimes you tell people good news, but it's
most times it's,
yeah.
So you are now finding you're part of the people who are creating the solutions.
Solutions, correct.
Now let's scale it all the way back. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Ghana. Okay. I went to school in Dex and Tema, and then I was in Achimota for my secondary school. Then I went to the US, to University of Miami to do medical, and then I switched to, I was pre-med and I switched to engineering. Then I did my master's and PhD at Queen Mary University of London.
Okay, how was life like as a child? What did you do for fun? Because I'm sure you were not just do science and stuff like that as a kid.
No, I was. I grew up with my cousins. I was in boys, so it was a lot of boisterous activities and trying to find my place within them. Always, screaming because they won't listen to me or saying, "Oh, you're a girl." But it was fun. My cousins, we're very close, and I have a bigger brother as well. We were all together, so it was just me and boys really. And then. I do a lot of sports when I was young. So I used to play tennis, I was in swimming. It all went down when I discovered boys, but I'm very sporty, so that's something that I do for fun. Most of the time I enjoy playing tennis.
At what point did you discover that you were interested in science?
Did I discover, or was I sort of pushed into it?
Because what happened?
It's very, I mean, my mother is a chemist, and she is very much in the sciences, and she wants everybody to be in the sciences. So I think I sort of followed her suit really, and went into the sciences. But I think I discovered that I liked it because I could just zone out and be reading things about science, and even mathematics is something that I enjoy. I can sit here for 2 hours just doing equations and I'll be happy. I discovered that even though I was pushed into it, I still quite like it.
How did you immerse yourself in it? Because for most of us, when we think of mathematics and science, it's like a subject that we just memorize equations and then you solve it. We don't really enjoy it the way people like you enjoy it.
So I will put it down to my family. Every time in my life that we needed something at home, we have to solve something. So I remember my uncle, if we went out and we wanted to get kebabs or something, you had to solve an equation. So you had to learn it because otherwise you don't get any perks. You don't get a new bag or a new shoe because it was fun. So it was very competitive between each other. So I think growing out in that big space with my family, they're very much like, maths. We were very much competing with each other because it was 4 of us in sort of around the same age, and it worked very well for us like that. So it was sort of maths with fun, and science with fun. So it was really nice. It was a nice environment to go.
So for parents who are watching, how do we make learning subjects like this, because we're having a conversation about STEM, getting more young people interested in STEM, finding it exciting. How do we do it in a way that it's not, I have to go to school, study this subject and pass this class, but really part of your everyday life and you see it as fun?
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, for parents, I would say that it doesn't have to be sitting at a table and doing work like compulsory. It's use the things available to you. The kids now, they love these tablets. So my son, for example, he's on his tablet and he's learning about organs because it's a song that goes with it. It's rhyming. I'm not going to push him to sit down and listen and write all the different organs. He just knows it himself because he's watching these things and he's interested. So right now we have even more things at our disposal. So it doesn't have to be the traditional get your pen and paper and sit by the table and do this sum. It can be that they can learn from YouTube, and I'm actually amazed about the things that my son knows.
Yeah. So we can make it more. How was the transition like for you going from Ghana to the US?
It was a difficult time, I have to say. I had to readjust the way readjust my thinking. People were, what should I say? Like, there were things that I wasn't used to.
Okay.
So the idea that I was a different race, I was a minority, was wasn't a big deal, but was something I struggled with a little bit.
Because when you're in Ghana, you don't think of yourself as a black person. Everybody's black.
Everybody's black, and nobody really talks about race or somebody who's a minority, and it becomes like something that you have to think about really with whatever you're doing. And when I had friends, they would tell me, like, especially when I had black friends, they talk a lot about race, and I was just a little bit lost in that space. I tried not to let it like affect what I was doing, but that was one thing that I struggled with. But apart from that, in terms of learning, in terms of adjusting and being in a school and doing my work, I was fine. But it was just a social element of it I found a little bit. So let's decide I didn't stay in America forever. I left. I went to Europe.
But what was your experience like as a medical school student? At what point did you decide that, okay, maybe this path is not for me? Because for a lot of young people, you've been told since childhood, okay, this is the path for you. You're going into it. It's almost like I have to do it. You never actually pause and say, okay, I may be good in this subject. I might go on to be a doctor, but can I deal with blood? Can I deal with always delivering bad news to people? And if not, how do I now come back and reevaluate the path that I want to go on? So
America does this thing which is very good, I would say, because you don't go straight to medical school like you would in Europe. So when you do pre-med, you're still open to the engineering a bit. You're open to a bit of arts, because I did creative writing as well.
Wow.
So you're open to different things as during your undergraduate program. So there is time, you have enough scope for you to say, you know what, actually I want to do this branch of what I'm doing. And it allows that. It lets you go, okay, I don't want to be pre-med anymore. I'm going to continue with the creative arts. I'm going to be a poet, or I'm going to be an engineer. So that bit really helped. So I didn't have to go straight into medical school and be like, oh, I need to get out again. But the American system does in a way that it's broad when you start with, and that worked for me. Because then I said to myself, oh, I actually like the engineering aspect.
Now, why regenerative tissue? How did you end up in that space?
It's fascinating, isn't it? So you put something in the body, and your cells and your tissue grow into it. They create new tissue. So for example, the hole in the heart, you put an implant in there, it grows into it. And then that implant that you put slowly degrades in your body, and a new tissue forms, and the implant just goes away, and you've closed the heart with the person's own tissue.
But how did you discover that?
So when I was doing my master's, it was one of the courses that we did, and I was like, "This is fascinating." I didn't even think it was possible.
Like until I met you, I didn't even think.
So I thought, "Oh my God, this is really fascinating." And at that time, it was just the beginning of tissue engineering. So I said, "Oh God, I want to do this. I want to do this." And then luckily, I got this work in Netherlands. And was doing tissue engineering. They're called Zeltis for cardiovascular tissues. And I mean, after doing that, I knew that's what I wanted to stay in.
What did it entail? Because this is a human being we're talking about. It's not like a frog and you're doing something.
No.
So what about it fascinated you?
Healing somebody, giving somebody a chance to heal and not have, for example, for kids for me was always the thing. A child with a hole in the heart, if you put a permanent implant, they're going to have this for the rest of their lives, which means it might cause problems, it might cause, over time they will need to get it replaced. So this bit of just regenerating the tissue, for me, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I had to get involved.
So guys, we're talking to Dr. Nanayaa Bates. She's, get this, I'm going to tell you her role. She's a technical consultant for soft tissue medical devices. So for all of you at home who want your kids to be in the STEM space, it's not only medical field. It's not only being a doctor that you can do. You can be a consultant for soft tissue medical devices. So like my friend Parker, always, he's a bit reckless. So if he, hurts himself and loses a tissue, I don't know how that even happens. People like you would help.
Correct.
In creating something to plug it in, even though he probably can't afford the solution. But she exists to do that. And then she's also the CEO of Iowa Aberfo, and that's where we're going to transition to now, because I know a lot of you are interested in that space, what we can do in the skin and hair care space. So if you have any questions for her, let us know. The hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. So how did you go from, well, you're still a consultant in that space, to now trying to find solutions in the skin and hair care space?
So it started off with my interest in skin and skin tissue and regenerating skin. And I've worked in that space a little bit, obviously with traditional, not traditional, with Western methods of regeneration. Mm-hmm. And I always thought, I wonder if there were like natural leaves or herbs and stuff here that could help somebody heal their scar, get rid of somebody's scars, or get somebody to heal their ulcer or stuff like that. So I started researching and looking at plant-based therapy, especially tropical ones.
Okay.
So things in Ghana that we can find a few plants like Cassia alata, Cedar acuta.
Sorry, what did you say? Cassia
alata.
Okay.
So this is a plant that we have here in Ghana, which is very good anti-inflammatory and antibacterial and antifungal properties.
Okay.
That is good for skin to treat things like acne or things like these fungal infections that people have on the skin. Neem, for example, is also very great. So I started looking at these things, and then I thought, well, all these things are in Ghana, so why don't I come to Ghana and look at what I can do in Ghana with all these amazing tropical herbal infusion stuff. So I came to Ghana in 2017, and I decided I wanted to set up a space to create and research ingredients for skin. So that I was here for 3 months. Luckily, I was able to find some two good chemists from the University of Ghana, Legon, and they joined me to start the company together, Grace and Fortune. And we started researching and looking at the ingredients, and we decided to first work on people with acne.
Okay.
So we've been in looking at acne ingredients for about a year, and then we started formulating them into different products. So body lotions, body butters, serums that people can use to clear their acne, serums that people can use to stop hyperpigmentation, mosquito repellents, natural ones that children can use in the country as a daily moisturizer and not get bitten by mosquitoes. So that's the space that we started in. So we branded that as Dr. Bates Solutions. So that has been on the market for about 2 years now. Then as we're in that space, I kept getting contacts from people in the US and the UK if we supply white label. So then I thought to myself...
And what's white label? Because my friend Gifty is watching us and she...
Okay, so white label is if you have a formulation that works and you're prepared to sell it to somebody by the kilo and get paid for it, so they don't have to do the product development.
Okay.
They use your product and said, okay, you know what, I really like this product. Can I buy it by the kilo so I can put my own label on it?
Nice.
And sell it in the country that I'm in. So that's that's basically white label.
Let's talk about brain gain, because as you're talking, I mean, we have neem, we have shea butter, we have coconut oil. We've not as a nation figured out how to use all of these raw materials to take our rightful place in the skincare space. If you go into your local pharmacy in Ghana and you're looking for something to treat your acne, you're going to get a foreign brand.
Correct.
But what you're telling me is we have all the ingredients here.
Yes.
What would it take? Because you are solving that problem. What made you decide that, okay, I'm not just going to look at this and turn a blind eye because I can afford anything, but I'm going to also contribute to sourcing these ingredients locally and providing that finished products that not only Ghanaians will need, but people globally are looking for?
Yeah. So, I mean, the world is going towards being natural and being organic. And when we started, we were looking at things. So on the market, like you rightfully said, we have all these raw materials, but we don't have finished products. And we will buy Cantu or Shea Moisturizer, which will take our shea butter to somewhere, process it, and bring it back to us. And then we buy it at a higher price, which is a bit silly. So even getting these people not to take the shea butter, but actually to take a formulated product gives us better revenue and gives people more jobs. So I was looking at all these products and I was thinking, we have all of this. Like, we don't need to ship it and bring it back in a different packaging, because that's most of the time is happening. We're looking at natural, like we were talking about, ointment and creams for stuff. I discovered neem when I was in Malaysia, and I needed something topical for a rash. And in Asia, they use neem a lot, and we have it here. So all of these things, if we can definitely add value to what we have. If you go to Mampong, the pharmacognosy page, there's so much information, it's amazing. But we really then have to go from being at the university or the research facilities and making them into products, which means that we need to work very well with these institutions. We need to make sure that the graduates coming out have something that they can start doing. We need to give them this sense that, okay, when I come out of this research center, I can actually combine leaves this way and make it into a product. And to get it on the market, Ghana actually being in the space right now, I'm feeling that people are actually looking for natural and local remedies. They actually do want it. I used to think that they'd like to buy foreign brand, but they actually do want it. So if we can get something nicely packaged, certified by FDA, they will go for it, because they want to be natural. People want to be natural, and they're all talking about things, these diseases are being foreign and because of what we're eating and putting in our body, and they want to use things locally, but they want to be able to trust what they're using as well, I think. And that's the key place. They need to trust. It has to be packaged nicely, it has to be approved by FDA, tested, certified, and I think they'll be happy to use it.
So Dr. Bates, the reason I'm so excited that we have you here with us is because we are now at a point where globally everyone is caring about what they put on their skin. Even locally, Ghanaians are beginning to care about what we put on our skin. On the other hand, the government is trying to figure out, what do we do with all these raw materials? How do we process them? How do we get the things that we have to finished products? Because then once we have that, we are creating more jobs. We are adding value to every stage of the supply chain. So the woman who's doing the shea butter up north is making more money because scientists in Accra and in Kumasi are doing it. And here you are, a researcher, a scientist, saying, I can formulate all these things. So what are the products that you've been able to do so far?
So I'll start with your first question. So what I'm doing now and going to do is setting up this platform, because like you said, all these people are producing, they don't know what's next. Where can I sell my stuff? They need to know that when they finish what they're making, somebody is going to buy it. And being in the white label space, we have clients in the US, in the UK, in Australia, and the rest of Europe. What we tend to get are people also looking for semi-finished stuff. They don't even want to formulate it. They want some kind of infused oil. They want shea butter that is whipped with maybe baobab oil. When they get there, they'll add some other ingredients that they have locally. So what we're creating next is a platform for people to be able to say that, okay, we also have this stuff. We've researched, we've done it, it's been certified by FDA, and we need a market for it. So that is also important. So this platform is going to be almost like your Alibaba, Amazon kind of platform. So we need technology here so that these people can be part of the platform and get their things seen by the rest of the world, where they can sell their stuff. Because another thing that hinders people is like, well, I have it, then what? I'm going to sell 5 and 10 every week or every month. It's not going to be enough for me. But when the thing is, when people have researched things and they work and and they have a platform to showcase it to the world, that is where the key thing is going to be, to create opportunities for people. Because I think the knowledge is there and we don't want it to go away. So let's put that into products. But yes, the next step is to help people to showcase what they can do to the rest of the world, which means that we have to create a platform. And this is going to be essential. We want to have the Ghana or the African sort of Alibaba or the African sort of Amazon for people to showcase raw materials that we have here. So this even includes food products. When people want to do like a shake, where they want to add moringa powder or things in there, they want the semi-finished product to add to their meal replacement shake or to their protein shake, they know that if they come to that platform, a company like Huel in Europe, they come to the platform, they can buy their baobab powder, their moringa powder, and that can be a part of, as an input, as part of their product. So this is the next thing that we're working on.
Hold on. So what you're telling me is this. Let's say my friend Ivan Smauli has a big neem tree in his compound.
Yes.
And he knows how to, make neem powder out of it, but he doesn't have access to market. There's a big company in the US or the UK that's looking for neem as an ingredient. Evans can come to your platform as long as he has the FDA certification and everything else, and you help him connect to buyers outside the country that are looking for his product. Is that what you're saying?
Indeed, correct.
Or if David Donu has moringa or baobab and doesn't know what to do with it, because obviously I'm not going to buy the moringa, I can just go down the street and pluck the leaf myself.
Correct.
You will give him access to market.
That's the
How transformational would this be? Because a lot of people are creating solutions and they just don't know how to get it out to the world.
Yes. So I mean, we think it's going to change the way people look at Africa. I mean, I was sitting down with my business partner, watching the Amazon owner go into space, and we thought,
Jeff Bezos.
yes, and then we thought, this is what we actually want to do, isn't it? And this is how we're going to end up in space. I mean, it's going to change everything. I think it's going to change because there's also this thing about supply. Can you rely on supply? Who do you have? People don't have the trust that when they're buying something from Africa, it's always going to be the same. We want to give that trust to the people abroad, which means we're going to bring in regulatory people, we're going to get things certified. It's going to be done properly because we have the raw materials, we have the people doing formulation, making stuff. People are making all sorts of exciting things, but it's not there. And I realized when I went into this white label and even private label, so people actually tell us what they want us to make for them.
So if I tell you I want to start a fruit-based skincare line, and I have no idea how to make that happen, you're saying I can come to you and you'll find a solution for me. That's
what we do at the moment. So we already do that for a few companies. So they come to us and they say, we want, we're trying a hair care line for example, mixed race hair. So that's one of the ones that we get quite a lot.
Wow.
So with curly hair, but a bit of European feel, we want a conditioner, we want a lotion, we want it to be able to do that. They give us a brief, we do back and forth, and we develop a product around that. So, and I know there are other people in this space that can also do that. So there's not just putting raw materials on the platform, but we also have like base formulated products. So things for, let's say, hair, things for skin, for hyperpigmentation, things for rashes. People will buy that stuff and maybe add a few things when it gets to their environment. So it's going to be a platform where it's not just raw materials, but it will have also finished and semi-finished things on there.
That's amazing, and I hope that the policymakers are listening, because this is a young woman who's solving all of the problems for us, and she's telling us she's done it. Speaking of doing it, what are the products that you currently have under Dr. Bates Solution?
So with Dr. Bates Solution, we target 3 things. Okay. So we're doing spots and acne solutions. We're doing anti-aging because everybody wants to stay young forever. And we're doing radiance, so something for just skin maintenance. We have the washes, so things to clean your face with. So we do love black soap. We're staying indigenous, so we use black soap, we use activated charcoal, we use kaolin.
Wow.
So we use 95% of our ingredients, if maybe 99, is from Ghana.
We source 95% of your ingredients
if
locally.
Not more.
And we're going to show you some videos, viewers. So you see, I was at your shop a few months ago, your manufacturing plant, and I saw really interesting things like the flour that we use for our wache and
yes,
all these amazing things. And the way you how do you extract oil from pawpaw?
So I mean, the wache, for example, we had a client who wanted something that's purple.
Wow.
Doesn't want like a color additive. So we thought, oh wait, our wache is a bit purple. So we got the wache leaves, we extracted, we made this nice colorful shower gel, which was like, and it's a soybean leaf, and it's actually good for the skin. It's an antioxidant.
Crazy.
It was like,
so we don't only need it to color our beans for wache, we can actually add it to our ingredients. And we're looking at videos of your space. Some of your scientists are there working on it. I mean, you guys are just transforming this big problem we've had. Even Kwame Nkrumah talked about it, that in Ghana we have all these raw materials. We've not been able to figure it out. And what you're saying is we're not just going to keep the scientists in the labs. We're going to bring them in the real world to solve these problems for us. And after we solve the problem for you, we're going to help you also get access to market. Because the complaints we get when we're producing things locally is that you see someone like Bismarck has no scientific background, no experience in research, will be in his house combining alatasemina and some shea butter together. And then we like, people should buy because it's made in Ghana. And the customer is like, no, what's the value you're giving me? So you're saying even with this that we're looking at right now, we can do something with it. How?
So, and it's so simple. So we do exactly the same thing we do with wache, extract it in heat. So we put hot water on it. We extract it. The color comes out beautifully, and then we so that if we're making, for example, a shower gel or we're making a lotion, all the water composition becomes the extracted wache leaves in the water,
and it's natural.
And it's actually great for your skin. So it's like a win-win situation, and we wouldn't even have known till we got a client in the US who wanted something that's purple. So we went to the board and said, okay, he wants purple. So there's butterfly pea, which is also this flower that's great for the skin. And then there was the soybean, and we thought, oh, we haven't used soybean before.
I even saw Ayolo in your place. I'm like, Dr. Bates, are you pregnant? What are you doing with this? So and then you told me, that's a chili. What's it doing in the scientific space?
It's absolutely great as a mask. It tightens the pores. It makes the skin. It's great for the skin. So we use that in combination with charcoal.
Okay.
And also a bit of neem leaf powder, turmeric, and creates this lovely mask that you put on your face, and you take it off and your face just looks renewed. So,
as I said earlier, we have a lot of problems in this country. Unemployment, the food processing space, the agri space. We've not been able to really crack the code of turning our primary goods to finished goods. And part of the issue is that we just don't have the human capital. We don't have specialists like you. We don't have a lot of researchers like you who are not only looking at it from the scientific space, but also looking at it as what does the customer want. So if a customer wants something that's colored, how do I not just cut corners and pick something,
a food dye,
a dye, and call it a day, but go into our local markets, go into our farms and see what we can use. What do you envision the future to be with the solutions that you're providing, especially now that the government is also paying attention? They are launching this thing called Ghana Cares program that's supposed to focus on light manufacturing, really just amplifying the solutions that you're working on.
So what we want to create and what we want to have is having almost like representation in everywhere around the globe, around the country. So, for example, we're working with farmers in the north. We're taking their soybean, we're taking their millet, we're turning them into shakes and powders that people can put in food. We want to work with the farmers in the south who are doing fruits and vegetables. We want to take their rotten fruits that nobody wants to buy in the market, or things that have gone off. We want to put it into machinery. We want to extract, we want to infuse, we want to make skincare products. We want to take the same food that maybe they don't have the market and we're throwing it away. We want to dry them into powders so that it goes into shakes, or it goes into things that we can even use here ourselves when it's off season. For example, something like alasa. It's amazing. It's got very good nutritional value. It's great for the skin, and we use it for serums as well, as a vitamin C serum.
Wow.
But the thing is, it's not in season all the time, and when it's season we throw them away. So what we want to create is, even with that, we take them, we dry them, we make them into powder, into infusion, into extract, almost as so the farmer can generate enough, whoever is growing alasa can generate enough money during the season to sustain themselves for the rest of the year. So we want to buy all this alasa. We want to make them into different things. So there's no excess. The farmer is making money. People are using that alasa to make different things. We have somebody else working in the middle. We're creating a platform. We have the technology people that are making sure that the technology is working to showcase these ingredients to the rest of the world. This is what we want to create. This is how we want to get everybody in transforming just having raw materials into having finished products, and it starts from the farmer. If the farmer can make so much money and have cash flow to then grow something else and then grow something else, we want to take all of that. Or go to Agbablushi, they're throwing all these things away. We want to take them. We went to Agbablushi during the mango period, and we got lots of mangoes. We got the mango seeds. We use the skins as infusion. They smell amazing as an essential oil. We use the oil inside to create butters and oils for the skin, and we have it here. I remember I was looking for a mango butter when I first came, and they said, oh, we don't do mango butters, we buy them from China. I said, come on, you're kidding me. There's mango trees everywhere. So this is where we want to be.
Dr. Bates, where do we contact you? Where do we find you? How do we get in touch with you? So,
through social media, we have Iowa Labs, so you can always contact us there. You can also contact us through Dr. Bates Solutions, but Iowa Labs is really the Iowa Labs also is the lab version for the scientists. We have Iowa Essentials. So Iowa Essential means where we're going to have our powders and inputs that goes into cosmetics and the food industry, or the the herbal pharmaceutical industry, if you like. And so yeah, you can contact us at Iowa on social media, Dr. Bates Solutions. If you also want to write us an email, it's Nanayaa, so like the name Nanayaa, at drbatesolutions.com.
Any advice for policymakers who are watching us this morning in their offices, who have been tasked with implementing this issue that we have, really on engaging people like you to make it happen? Because you make it look like it's not rocket science.
No, it's not, but you're right. It takes a lot for all of it to come together, and the policymakers, we definitely need them in terms of when we are, for example, equipment that we need to process these things. We also need to work with sort of FDA, Ghana, CSIR, the Standard Board. All these bodies also exist, and we need to push them in front of entrepreneurs, scientists that are coming out of the university. These people exist and are there to help you. Because I only found out about CSIR, I've known about it, but I didn't know the amazing work they did.
What drives you?
I don't know. I think at the moment, what is driving me very much is the youth in this country, and looking at my children and looking at what I want for them. And I think that it's time for Africa to showcase themselves with what we have. And I want my kids to be proud of this nation. And I want my kids to say that, yeah, I'm from Ghana. So what drives me right now is looking at the youth. They're coming out of the university. I mean, I've been interviewing because, like I said, we're expanding, and I'm looking at their passion and what they, I mean, I wish I could employ everybody, and I can't. But this is what is driving me. I really want the youth to enjoy the country they're in, because I think we are rich.
And I usually don't ask this question, but how important is it for female entrepreneurs to have supportive partners?
I mean, it's very important. I mean, if you don't have a supportive partner, you can't progress. If you have a partner, there are people that are doing this on their own and they're not married and they're going and they're doing it, and kudos to them. I have kids and I have a husband, and my husband is very supportive. I mean, my husband does not expect me to have cooked his dinner when he comes home, because I probably won't be at home, or he doesn't expect me to have bathed the kids, but we make sure that we spend quality time together. We make sure we're with our kids, but at the same time we support each other. We make sure that what we're doing, there's capital if he needs, which, I mean, he's been funding me for a very long time. We cut back on things that we need to do in our private lives to push this agenda, because he believes in the agenda as well, and he believes that it's important for our kids to grow up in a space where they can be proud of a rich nation like Ghana.
Dr. Bates, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I've heard people complain about this issue all my life before I was born, and it's so refreshing to see a Ghanaian woman solving these problems for us.
Thank you.
And I hope you at home, you're inspired by her story. It's not just a motivational conversation that we just had. This is a proper researcher, proper scientist solving all the problems we have. Not only food waste, when products are in season, they all go to waste. She's finding a solution for it. Globally, there are products that people demand that we have the capacity to develop locally to supply them. She's doing that, and she's also going to connect us to a market so that if someone is looking for it, they have direct access to it. So contact Nanayaa Bates, contact Dr. Bates on social media, and let's really get to a point where we are feeding ourselves and we are sustaining our economy.